The City of Richland has grown and prospered over the past 2 decades with several significant infrastructure and planning efforts completed. Much of this success can be attributed to the leadership and vision of City Council and City staff, including City Manager Cindy Reents. Reents started her career with the City in 2003 in the role of Assistant City Manager. Soon after that, she took on the duties of City Clerk and Parks and Public Facilities Director. In 2007, she was selected by City Council as Richland's first female city manager. To successfully balance the growing population, economic development, and Richland's enviable quality of life, strategic long-term planning must occur. Cindy, along with the City Council, implemented the city's strategic leadership plan. This plan is the guiding document for achieving Council's long-term vision and is an integral part of the city's success. Today, Richland is in a strong financial position. Its many amenities are loved by its citizens, and its infrastructure is keeping up with community growth. These successes can be seen in all corners of the city. One such amenity, the Hapo Community Stage, is the city's gathering center. The stage, completed in 2015, came about through extensive citizen input and the premise that Richland needed a focal center where all arts, political, civic organizations, and citizens can come together.
For several decades, the city has been focusing on the redevelopment and invigoration of our central business district. The investment along our waterfront in sports facilities and in John Dam Plaza has been central to the city's strategy to help reinvigorate our downtown. So when we built this stage, we almost immediately had thousands of people coming to watch performances on any given Thursday, and more thousands of people coming on the weekend to see other performances. When you bring thousands of people in your downtown, they all need somewhere to eat, they need somewhere to drink, they want to stay longer before or after the performance event, so they might walk along the waterfront. They may even be coming from out of town and they'll stay in our hotels. So investment in this stage in John Dam Plaza was really central to what we're trying to do within our downtown. And I think in that regard, you can call it a really huge success.
The safety and well-being of our citizens is of utmost importance, and that is why city leadership and public safety personnel championed the need for a new fire station in South Richland. As the city continued to experience unprecedented growth throughout the city, rapid emergency response became an increasing challenge. Therefore, in 2014, Station 74 off Queensgate Drive and Dupertel Street was constructed.
The importance of the build and location of Station 74 was critical to covering Southwest Richland with our services. In addition to that, the location with the Dupertel Bridge provides service into the core area and North Richland. So it's really important in terms of establishing new coverage area as well as supporting secondary coverage for the main part of town. The build-up to Station 74 was actually years in the making, and the effort that Cindy put into helping shepherd that process through, or that project through with City Council and the community was essential to that project coming to fruition. We really could not have put that station on the ground and made it happen the way that we did, as effectively and quickly as we did, without her support throughout the whole project.
Richland became a first-class city in 1958 after the federal government deeded the city to its citizens. Over 60 years later, the building known as Richland City Hall was in dire need of renovation and repair. Recognizing that the cost to upgrade the facility would far outweigh the benefit, the city hired a team that would design and construct a new city hall directly adjacent to the existing property. In addition, this move would open the previous property for prime commercial development. The new Richland City Hall was dedicated in the spring of 2019 and brings many of the customer-facing city services under one roof.
The Richland City Hall has been a project that's been in the works for a number of years, and I think that the leadership of the City Council and the City Manager really made it happen. There was a number of times where it was brought up as a need, but I think it was the right combination of council and city management that made it occur. The benefits include a one-stop shop for our citizens when it comes to building and permitting and planning questions, utility billing questions, really any interaction with city staff. It provides a safe, efficient, and effective building for the staff, and I think really creates an iconic building in the downtown area of Richland that we hope energizes and spurs further economic development.
While not as noticeable as a new City Hall or community stage, the successful transition to a regional 911 emergency call center is a lasting legacy of City Manager Cindy Reents. The idea to merge all emergency dispatching for Benton and Franklin counties to a unified center took many turns along the way. Cindy had to convince multiple counties, cities, and other public agencies to buy into this concept. The transition to one call center occurred in 2019, and the results will be long-lasting, and the safety of our community has greatly benefited.
As chair of Benton County Emergency Services for many years, Cindy was a significant contributor towards Benton County Emergency Services. And as two separate dispatch centers, which we were prior to the consolidated regional dispatch, both Franklin and Benton County dispatch centers were separate, and a call could come in and potentially be routed to the wrong dispatch center. So by having a regional consolidated dispatch center, we have one source where the calls come in, and it provides for a more efficient and effective operation, both from a dispatch and a community perspective, so for the customer, as well as a more safe environment for our first responders.
Perhaps the largest project to come to fruition in the last few decades was the completion of the Dupertale Bridge. This bridge was in the planning stages for several years and required collaboration and support of local, state, and federal agencies. The completion of the bridge can be directly attributed to the dedication of Public Works Director Pete Rogalski and the tenacity of City Manager Cindy Reents. The bridge opened in December 2020 and will assist with easing traffic congestion on SR 240 and I-182 for years to come.
Before the bridge was there, the Yakima River essentially created two communities out of Richland. And there was Old Richland and New Richland south of the river. And the only way to connect between the two were freeways. And there's no way to build community around a freeway. And so the Dupertale Bridge changes that and makes us an integrated community from the heart of the downtown, the waterfront, which is where we kind of get our name or our reputation, to the Queensgate and South Richland and Badger South area where the growth and the new, so much economic activity is happening now. And so up until the idea that the bridge, that Dupertale-Stevens corridor was established, and then now with its completion, those two areas were destined to always be segregated and separate and almost separate communities. And now we're one community.
Implementing a citywide strategic leadership plan to assist in guiding leadership and council will be a lasting legacy of Cindy Reents and reiterates her commitment to public service. Richland will continue to grow and prosper. The city remains committed to the community and the vision to look long-term at the city's needs. The goal remains to empower future city leaders and staff to proceed further in the direction of prosperity.